bigger, and I could turn that into even more reality. It's crazy. So let me give you some notes on how to think bigger. First of all, there are dangers in thinking small. You know what the biggest danger is? You live 2% of the life you could have lived. Like Ed Milet talked about, chasing that best version of you. When you finally reach them, you realize they're a complete stranger because you've played small. Some of you have small products with a small price of entry to start your business, a small commitment. Everything's small, 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 small. If you think small long enough, you become small. Some of you are so small, you're thinking so small, you've become invisible. You become invisible. And that's not where you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be invisible to the world. You're supposed to be bringing life and light to the world. You say, no, I'm not invisible. Yes, but you're playing at 2%. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Write this down. The world is not served by me thinking small. The world is not served by me thinking small. Now, are there obstacles to thinking bigger? Sure, but most of them are self-imposed. Most of them are caused by ourselves. Some of you have been taught, be quiet. It's better to be seen and not heard. Who do you think you are? Some of you have been taught in your upbringing that it's safer to act small because if you rise up even a little bit, you get knocked back down. Some of you have learned to hide in your jobs. You're hiding in your job because you don't want to risk putting yourself out there, maybe losing that job. You're hiding in relationships, hiding in your community, hiding in your church, hiding all over the place. Some of you, and I'm only speaking to a handful here, some of you are acting small to make other people feel good about themselves. And you know who I'm talking to. Because you showing the world your big thinking is going to make them feel insecure. So since you don't want to intimidate them, you play small. I'll just play small. It's okay. I'll just play small. In order to think bigger, you've got to change the way you're approaching your business. Now, I'm just talking in terms of your network marketing business right now. Remember yesterday, primary and secondary? Primary being what you're giving the most energy to. If you're anything outside of your network marketing business, when it comes to your income producing activities, anything outside of your network marketing business, if you continue to cause that or have that to be your primary, your subconscious mind will sabotage all of your growth. See, here's the thing. I have struggled with self-worth my whole life. Not feeling good enough, not feeling strong enough, not being fit enough, not being consistent enough. And you know what I learned? Marina helped me probably more than anybody, any human on earth, to start to think bigger. Because I would always, you got to be careful about self-deprecating language. Oh, don't mind me, I'm just an idiot. Oh, don't mind me, I'm not very smart. I'm not consistent, I'm a professional procrastinator, ha, ha, ha. Don't mind me, I'm no entrepreneur. Don't mind me. How many of you have a difficult time accepting a compliment? Raise your hands, be honest. You have a difficult time accepting a compliment. Somebody says, hey, I think you're amazing. No, 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 no. No, no, not me. I think you're amazing. No, no, you're amazing. You're unbelievable. Wow, spectacular, unreal. Not me. Pay attention to this. If you're not careful, self-deprecating language can become self-destructive. You can speak negativity into your life, thinking you're just being humble. I'm just being humble. No. Do I strike you as arrogant? I hope I don't. I don't think I do. But I'm certainly confident. I'm confident. And isn't that a better place to be, confident without being arrogant? Humble does not mean a lack of self-worth. A humble person actually has a greater level of self-worth. Remember the word permission? I really need you, today more than ever, to give yourself permission to think bigger. And I'm going to start in the most uncomfortable place there is. You know what's the most uncomfortable for most of you? Your wealth. Your success. If I'm talking to people that are struggling with self-worth, you know what language I need to use? Oh, let's talk about how many people you're going to help. Let's talk about the lives you're going to touch. Let's talk about your contribution to the team and to the world. Because you're like, oh, okay, if it's about them, if I'm going to help them, then I'll think bigger if it's about them. If it's about me, Now I want you to play all out in this exercise, okay? This exercise is going to change your life, but you got to play all out. I want to talk about you and your income, Whitney. I want to talk about your income, Roxy. I want to talk about your income, Anya. I want to talk about your income, Martin. And if you don't have the self-worth to accept it, then say, hey, I'm going to make that money, I'm going to give it away. Fine. No problem. Marina and I give more than anybody we know as a percentage of our income. But we don't do it out of guilt. We don't do it because we feel we don't deserve it. I used to. Now we give it out of part of our purpose. So I want you to hear me. Now I want you to play all out in this exercise, okay? I want you to think about success. Financially, I want you to think about this in terms of monthly income. Monthly income, you ready? 12 months from today, December 2022. What would success look like in terms of a monthly income number from your network marketing business? Where you look back and say, you know what? We had a good year. It's December 2022. This amount of money came in from my network marketing business. I'm considering that a success. What is the number for you? And listen, all you tourists out there, those who don't have your cameras on, everybody out there, people who haven't typed anything into the chat since you started, not this session. This session, I want you to think of the number, and I want you to put it into the comments. What would success look like? What's the number you say, you know what, I'd take that. I would take that. No number too small, no number too big. What's the number? I would take that. 10,000, 1,000, 5,000, 50,000, 6,000 pounds, 20,000, 10,000, 3,000, whatever your number is, this is your number. This is a number that represents you faced your fear, you did what was uncomfortable, you took the action, you got the stuff, you put yourself in an environment, you got the coaching, you made the steps, you built the team, and because of that, you turned your effort and your contribution into this type of an income. Got it? Every single one of you. I'm not moving forward until you all put something into the chat. So don't sit back there and say, I'm going to play like a tourist. Put something into the chat. Do it. I would like to make enough to change my family's life. What's that number? Okay, so now I have some questions to ask you. And I want you to answer these questions or write them down and answer them in a quiet space where you're ready to make a decision. This is a great time of year to make decisions, isn't it? Reflect back on what happened this last 12 months. Look forward. What's going to happen the next 12? You've all put your number in. And thank you for putting your number in. Thank you for playing all out. How would your life change if that happened? How would your life change if that happened? What would be different? Need my notes, thank you. What would be different? What things could you say yes to? What things that you currently can't say yes to, you could say yes to? What things could you say yes to when that income became a reality? What things could you say yes to? What things could you say no to? No more. I'm not going to that job anymore. What could you say no to compromises that you have to, sitting in traffic? What could you say no to? Could you say yes to that vacation, a better school for your kids? Could you say yes to that nicer house? Could you say no to things that are not worth your time, that are beneath you? Now, for all of you struggling with self-worth, who could you help? Who could you help with that money? What would Christmas look like? Big question with all of this. Who do you need to become in order to make this income goal a reality? Who do you need to become? What needs to happen in you? What decisions need to be made? What do you need to learn? What habits need to change? What relationships need to change? What needs to change in your environment to upgrade your environment? What needs to change in your thinking? What needs to change in your thinking in order to turn this into reality? Now, I'm a big believer that you can't do it until you can see it. You've got to see this number as real. You've got to see this as already done. People say to me all the time, Eric, did you ever imagine you can live in a $18 million house? Do you ever imagine you could fly in your own private jet? Do you ever imagine having $1 million worth of cars sitting in your garage? Could you ever imagine not looking at a price tag of anything for years and years and years? Could you ever imagine? You know what my answer is? Of course I could imagine it. I saw it all, clear in my mind, long before it turned into reality. I saw the jet, and then the jet became real. I saw the house became real. Maureen and I saw the studio became real. We saw ourselves on a private yacht sailing around Greece, and that became real. It's your vision that's lacking. It's not what's available to you. There are unlimited dollars on this earth for you to be able to access based upon how much value you can bring to the world. But listen to me. It starts with your vision. You've got to give yourself permission to see it. Some of you are having a hard time seeing it. So I want you to do something and play with me, okay? Because I know you got to change your camera, you got to move things around. But I want everybody to stand up with me and do an exercise with me, okay? Every single one of you, stand up, stand up, stand up. And I want you to repeat after me a simple phrase, step by step, word by word. Okay? Remember the income goal you set? What would success look like December 2022? Do you remember it? You got the number? Okay? Repeat after me. I will. Say it again. I will. Be earning. That's weird to hear just a few of the voices. Let's not do that. I will. Be earning. What's your number a month? In December of 2022. Repeat after me again. I will be earning how much a month in December of 2022. One more time with conviction. With conviction. I will be earning how much a month in December of 2022. All right, stay standing for a moment. And I want you to think about, this is going to happen. What do you need to learn? What habits do you need to change? What relationships need to change? What needs to change in your environment? And what needs to change in your thinking for that declaration to be true? Now, did you write your number down? Did you write your number down? If you haven't written your number down, write it down, stay standing. Write your number down if you haven't written it down. Now listen to me. Which camera am I looking at? This one? This one? This one? All right, listen to me. I want all of you to double your number. Whatever that number was, I want you to double it. Take a moment, write down the new number. Write it down. For some of you, this is feeling a little freaky. It's like, this is uncomfortable. Your self-worth is kicking in. Your lack of vision is kicking in. Right? Your self-deprecating, not me, is kicking in. Write it down. Write it down, Gail. Write it down, Sonda. Write it down, Dana. Write it down, Daniel. With your daughter, listening to this at the same time, how much is that? How great is that? You got your double number? Now, with the new number, I want you to repeat after me. I will be earning the new number per month in December 2022. Again, louder. I will be earning the new number per month in December 2022. Third time with your hands in the air. I will be earning your new number per month in December 2022. Now stay standing. I want you to listen to me. Which camera am I on? This one. Now, I want you to go to your notes, and I want you to double the number again. Double it again. Some of you are having a hard time. Some of you don't even want to write it down. Write it down. Double it again. Got it? Did you write it down? Now we're going to step into this. And I want you to repeat after me with conviction. And this is going to feel weird for a lot of you because your vision doesn't allow you to think like this. You ready? I will be earning your new number per month in December 2022. Say it again. I will be earning your new number per month in December 2022. One more time with your hands in the air. I will be earning your new number per month in December 2022. Give yourself a big round of applause and have a seat. Go back one slide, please. Another one. Thank you. Now listen to me. You might think this is ridiculous, but some of you are sweating a little bit right now. You're like, this is making me uncomfortable. I was already stretching, you're saying to me. I was already stretching with the first number. You made the double just ridiculous. Yeah? Ridiculous to who? Ridiculous to who? I can't tell you how many people that I've coached, they just felt ridiculous writing down the double and the double again. You know what excites me? They call me up and say, Eric, guess what? We passed our double. 3 years later, we passed our double. We never thought it was even possible. It was just ridiculous when we wrote it down. But we saved our notes. Look at our notes. We saved them and we passed it. You don't lack for opportunity. You lack for vision. You lack for small. You lack for big thinking. You're thinking too small. Now, I want you to think about this. To achieve this number, and I want to be honest now, to achieve your double, what do you need to learn to achieve your double? What habits need to change to achieve your double? What relationships need to change? Who do you need to attract to achieve that double? How much recruiting do you need to do? How much of a leader do you need to develop yourself in? How much greatness do you need to surround yourself with? What needs to change in your thinking? What needs to change in your being? How much time are you going to have for little conversations? How much time are you going to have for little gossipy bullshit? How much are you going to allow distractions and nonsense into your life? when this double-double is going to turn into a reality for you. And for the kids watching, I apologize for the language. Sorry, Morgan. Oh, you got headphones on. It's perfect. Headphones. Headphones. Awesome. You can't allow smallness in your life if that double-double is going to be real. When that gets clear in your mind, distractions will fall away. Obstacles will cease to be obstacles. What used to be impossible, hear me when I say this. Once your vision becomes what it needs to be, the obstacle that was just impossible becomes invisible. It goes away. It doesn't exist anymore. It's like, yeah, that's there, so I'm going to go accomplish this. Everything changed in my life when I gave myself permission to think bigger. When I gave myself permission to see it before it was real. To have the imagination that was allowed to think bigger. You can't think too big. Might take some of you a little longer, sure. Might be a struggle, fine. But there's not one of you that can think too big. I mean, look, I barely graduated high school. I had 18 jobs by the time I was 22 years old. Okay? I was nobody's prize. Network marketing, you know what it did? First thing it did is it rescued me from a string of dead-end jobs that I hated and I wanted to get out of. That's the first thing it did. The second thing it did is it gave me a career, and it was patient and waited for me to develop. But you know what the biggest prize that network marketing gave me? It opened my mind to what I could do. If you're not surrounded with people that are expecting big things from you, it's time for you to reevaluate your environment. If you're not pushing yourself to a higher level, if you're not upping your game, it's time for you to come up with a new plan. Because guess how quick you can lose your vision? Just like that. You know how it happens? A little to-do list, some laundry, got to clean the house, got to go get some groceries, I'll be back, I got to change the oil, I'll do it next month. That's all it takes. And then a year's gone by. And you've been playing small the whole year. Who is sick and tired of playing smaller than your potential? Show me some hands if you're just done with it. If you're done with it. I'm over this. I'm not doing it anymore. What Jim Rohn used to call the day that turns your life around, that day of disgust that says enough. I've had it. I'm not living like this anymore. I'm going to a new level. And it's not going to start in my reality. It's going to start in my mind. It's going to start with my vision. And it's going to start with my standards. And it's going to start with what I expect from people around me. And it's going to start with my own ability to love myself and to invest and to care about myself. It's going to start with who I'm attracting once I get this clear here. And I can hear some of you already, I'm too old, I'm too young, I don't have any experience, I failed before. Just shut up. Stop that. All of that's nonsense. There's not one of you that has an obstacle that is impossible to overcome. Not one of you. You just got to give yourself permission to go to the next level. Who's ready to do that? Let me see some hands. Who's ready to do that? Yeah? All right. I don't want that double-double to just be a fake, phony little number. I want that to go up somewhere and say, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that real. Okay? Now, one thing that I've learned over the course of the last 3 years especially, a major tool to be able to expand your business, you know what it is? Once you get your vision right, you know what it is? A challenge. Challenging yourself, challenging your team, challenging your company, challenging your community. A challenge is a magical thing. There's this guy who came into my life. His name is Pedro Adeo, and he is the king of challenges. And I want him to be able to share some ideas on how you can use challenges to turn your vision into reality. How you can use challenges to expand your team, challenge yourself, and challenge others to perform at a higher level. Okay, who's ready for that? Who's ready for that? Put a number 7 in the comments if you're ready for that. Let me see. All right. Okay, fantastic. So with that, let me introduce the incomparable Pedro Adeo.
Let's go! GoPro 2021! Get on your feet! Let's go! Get on your feet! Get on your feet! Get on your feet! This is going to be your theme song for this year! This is going to be your theme song! Let's go! Keep it playing! Keep it playing!